Men will act ignorant to all the problems with masculinity, but then they'll go ahead and get a girlfriend, and now when they're walking down the streets, they're holding on to her hand for dear life. Suddenly, every single nigga is a potential threat. You looking to the left like, nah nigga, you looking to the right like, get the fuck. And whoever's checking your girl out from the back, nah bro, let's go, right now, whore. It's normal for our women to be scared shitless when they walking down these streets, man. Our women should not have to carry mace and a taser to feel safe walking outside. I don't gotta do that. I could walk down these streets looking cute as hell, one ass cheek out, not a single fuck given. My point is that, like, as a man, you know that men ain't shit. So if you, as a man, know another man who's a nutcase, put him in his place. And I shouldn't have to say, but what if that was your mom or sister though, for it to make sense to you? You have the power as a man to change other men. So let's become better men ourselves first, and I promise you, we'll see how contagious it becomes.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you enjoy it. So, I don't even know if I should call this a venting session or girl talk or I don't know. But as most of you may know, the topic of sexual harassment and sexual assault has been trending on social media for a while now, because apparently there's a serial rapist in town and people have just been making jokes about it. Like, things just seem so funny for everybody. But anyways, in as much as I saw a lot of people, like, you know, discouraging the whole act and talking to people about how it's wrong and all that, there was a lot of victim blaming that I just kept on seeing. And in the topic of sexual assault or harassment, like, victim blaming is not anything new, especially in Nigeria. It's not anything new at all. Like, you see a case of if a girl is assaulted by a guy, people ask more questions to the girl, like, oh, what were you wearing? Why were you there? And all that. Like, it's her fault for doing basic things. Like, every human being should be able to go out knowing that they'll come back home safe. And it's just sad. It's just sad how people think and the kind of things people encourage. Like, at this point, I don't even understand why we have a phrase called rape culture. Like, why it's even that popular to even be called rape culture. Like, since when has it been okay? Since when? Like, I don't even understand why we have to have an argument. Why we have to have an argument about sexual assault and harassment. It's wrong, simple and short. It doesn't matter what she was wearing or what he was wearing or what they were doing there. Like, it doesn't matter at all. The action on its own is wrong. And you know the funny thing, like, what they do now is to defend the sex offender and then blame the victim. Okay, everything I'm going to say can be just let's say these are allegations, because that's the term you use, until proven you're innocent until proven guilty. So everything now is just allegations, even though. But you know, I see one thing that, with my own personal experience, when I was in high school, I went to a Catholic school, and then we used to have seminarians who come and then they did some kind of service, stay and then work for the secondary school for some time and then go back to the seminary. And it became a case of they were becoming way too friendly with those girls. And this was when I was in like JS1, JS2, JS3. And I noticed that a lot of them will, you know, they'll be like way too familiar with you, always touching you and all those kind of things. And I didn't like it. Like, I'm not going to, like, you know, get into the details, but I basically didn't like it. And I knew I wasn't the only girl. So, like, the girls would complain about it, like, oh, he'll just come and be holding me on my shoulder, my waist, or touching me. And like, none of us enjoyed that. So I was like, I'm just going to report because I don't like this. And I did report, and it became a whole thing of, Laju, somebody just playing with you, you don't know how to, like, it's not about playing with me. You're touching me in ways that I don't want you to. It's my body. So, like, if I give you this the signal or the hint that I don't enjoy this, then you probably shouldn't do it at all. Not even probably, you shouldn't even come close to me. There should be a boundary. And things that to show you that they're not even scared like we were juniors at that time, and these are people who are 18, 19. They are way older than us, and we were like 11, 12, 13, around those times. And they would just come around doing all this type of things. I remember one time, one guy called me. I was like, that he likes me. I was like, okay. This is not one of the seminars, one of my classmates. That he likes me. I was like, okay. But like, he likes me, but you have. He was like, I like you, but you have a big mouth. I'm like, what do you mean by I have a big mouth? Like, you have a big mouth as per any small thing you report. Like, this is not small. Why is everyone? And the funny thing is that when I talk to the girls about like when they say, oh, they don't like it when people do these things and stuff, and they're like, but anyways, we'll just fashion it. You know, it's things like that. And why are you fashioning it? Like, before they say I reported, before I say I did this. And you know, it's cases like this that discourage people from wanting to speak up. First of all, they can easily be accused of lying, or it will be like you're just going to ruin your reputation because you're the girl who couldn't take a joke, or someone who couldn't just play, or it's just basic stuff. And you know, for anyone out there who feels discouraged or doesn't want to speak out because of what they think people, like, it's your body. People at that moment you think, oh, she's doing this, but at the end of the day they forget about it, and it's you. Like, you're left with that like trauma for the rest of your life. So you should really do something about it and not care about what you think. And I'm glad I actually did that, because it created a name for me that no one should just play with me. So you can go around familiarizing yourself with other girls who don't want to speak up. But me, I've spoken up. I've tried my best to encourage other people to speak up about what's happening. Like, it's your body, for goodness sake. If you don't want someone to do certain things to you, you should actually speak up. And even if you don't, please, anyone out there, know that silence isn't consent. It is definitely it's not consent. Like, I'm just going to put a list of things of what consent isn't, like, right here. You can pause and then read it, but you know, it's best that we all educate ourselves on this thing. Like, it's okay for you to not know. It's like, ignorance is okay, but then when you start acting on that ignorance, that's when it's just now victim blaming. That's what I don't understand. So I was talking to one of my friends about this whole thing, and he was like, okay, cool, let's talk about this. And then he was like, because I told him I wanted to make this video, and he was like, okay, what do you want to talk about? I was like, I also want to talk about victim blaming. I was like, as far like, well, if a girl is assaulted or harassed, they'll blame it on where she was or what she was wearing. Like, that's just, you can't even use that as an excuse, because women of all ages, all religions, like everywhere around us, are constantly harassed and raped and assaulted in all kinds of ways. No matter what your age is, your race, your background, what you're wearing, it happens every single way. So you can't even give the excuse of what she's wearing, and what she's wearing does not give you consent. And he was like, okay, so I'm assuming what you're talking about is revealing clothes. I'm like, yes, that's what I mean. I was like, but why would women like wear revealing clothes? I'm like, why would you even ask me that? First of all, women have, like, we have, that's one thing now that is like the society doesn't understand that we have control over our own body. That's what it's like. They can't just take it. Society just can't understand that women have control over their own body and they can do what they want with it because it's their own body. Like, you're coming to ask me why? Because I can. If I want to wear revealing clothes, I can, and I will. If I want to wear clothes that express modesty, I will. People find confidence in all kinds of manners, in all kinds of clothes, and you should. And there was something my friend posted the other day, because people were still talking about revealing clothes, or, oh, she went there so she knew what she was getting herself into. No one goes to any place to say, oh, as I come here now, I want to get raped. It's not anything about, oh yes, for sure, we have to protect ourselves. But the annoying part is that people are only concentrating on the victim. That's just the thing. You're not questioning the actions of the offender or what he did or why he did it or why would you do that kind of, like, no one, it's like there's no pressure on that side. You're only pressuring the victim. Like, first of all, they've already been traumatized and you're making things worse. Like, that's why people are like, you should just be kind to everyone, because you never know what someone is going through. You actually never do. So I don't think, it's so sick because harassment has become like it's so normalized like in every part of the world. I'm just going to talk about Nigeria because that's where I've lived most of my life. And it's like every female, one part of your life you've been harassed in one kind of way or the other. And rape is more frequent than anybody will know. Some girls actually don't even tell one single person. Like you live all your life, you won't tell a single person that this is what you've gone through, just because it's like no one really cares. It's not something that people look down on. And I actually thought that it was something that people look down on until it started trending on Twitter, and I was really seeing people defending this whole act. Like I was shocked. I'm like, what kind of people are living? Like what kind of mindsets do we have in this country? And those kind of things, like, first of all, you won't believe, those kind of things discourage people from speaking out, because speaking out is the first step to actually healing from that kind of, like, those kind of experiences always have a scar, and I'll never understand what a lot of women have gone through, but I can only have a glimpse of it because I'm also a woman, and I can empathize more than any other gender. And then, first of all, you live in a society that discourages you from speaking up, and when you do, you have people make jokes about it. You have people say you are lying. You have people who are defending the whole act, making jokes about it, like. And that's one thing that really annoys me, because Nigerians make jokes about everything, and that's fine. That's how Nigerians are, but like there's always a line. There's always a line that you shouldn't cross. And how I know that Nigerians can actually stop making jokes about things and be serious about it is when the topic of homosexuality comes up. Have you seen how aggressive people respond to homosexuality in Nigeria? Like, homosexuality was also trending around the same time this whole rape thing was trending on social media. And when it came out, like, people were so aggressive, making fun about it, like, and I'm just going to be straight off, like, I'm just going to be straight about this whole thing. This was the guys. I know some girls start saying a lot of shit, but this was guys who were out there. Yes, and they're seriously cussing out people, or people who are defending it, or just making fun of people, and they're seriously angry, and I'm like, where was all this energy when we're talking about rape? Where was all this energy when a girl was murdered right after she was raped? Why were you quiet then about an actual crime? Why are you so bothered about this right now? Like, where was that energy that you could have used for the right thing? Like, don't you have priorities? Don't you know what bad and good is? And if you think that you just go on Twitter and then you see people talking about it, and you see just that one tweet where they're just cussing out all the gays and lesbians, and you click it and you see all the angry people, like, they are big mad, like, you just see all the angry people just under there, and just like, I never saw this when talking about sexual harassment. Where were all these guys, where were they when someone was raped and killed? Why are they coming up now to talk? It's actually so sad. Like, what kind of priorities do you have? This is an actual crime, and then you're, I'm not doing it. This is just me venting, because at this point, if someone still has views on sexual harassment and rape and you're always like victim blaming, at this point you're just choosing to be like that, because there's enough information out there. You can actually educate yourself. And they put so much pressure on victims, and the reason why I'm not even going to say girls or anymore, because I know that there are also male victims out there who I know for sure are not speaking up, because society is also pressuring them to not even say those kind of things. Like, I actually pity guys, because they are human beings just like us, and it's like they put them down. It's just this whole toxic masculinity thing. You can't express emotions, you can't have feelings like that, you shouldn't be in touch with them or your feminine side, because why? For no reason. They're just out there for no reason, just toxic like that. And I can't imagine like someone growing up in that kind of environment, feeling a lot of things, and you can't talk about it to anybody. And if you do decide to talk about it, your fellow male counterparts will make fun of you. It's actually just sad. I don't know if we have any safe spaces in Nigeria, but creating a safe space where you could actually speak up about incidents and all that could actually be really good for this country, and it could actually just change a lot of things, because harassment now has just been normalized. It's been normalized way too much. No one is taking it seriously as they should, and they just think. And that's the thing that used to annoy me when I was like 11, 12, 13 in junior secondary school. People shouldn't feel discouraged just because of what other people think. And I think that is one thing I admire about myself. Like, all through that time when people were like, oh, Laji, you just told me. I don't care. I actually don't care. It's my body. At the end of the day, your opinion will only last for about a minute, but then what will happen to me will last me for a very, very long time. So I'm just going to speak up. And after that, like, it became this reputation of Laji reports or Laji says reports. And I'm like, okay, good. No problem. No one is coming near me. I'm perfectly okay with that. Where has all those rumors taken me to? Nowhere. It doesn't make a difference at all. So I'm just glad I'm that kind of person who doesn't care about what people think. And the sick part of it is that, like, it's like harassment has become so normalized. Like, every girl in Nigeria for one part of her life will experience harassment. It's really like, it seems when you talk about it, then you can understand the intensity of this whole thing. But when you're experiencing it, it's like, this part of life, it's not supposed to be part of life. No young girl should go through this. No woman at all of all ages should be going through this, and no guy too should be going through all this, because it's even harder for them. They live in this society where they can't speak up, or when they do, people make fun of them, and it ends there. It literally ends there. Like, not a single person will take you seriously. I'm actually just hoping for change. That's what I'm hoping for, change. So I think the first step is actually not discouraging people from speaking up about their whole experience, because that's when the whole decline just starts coming up, because someone has been traumatized, and then secondly, when they want to speak up, you either accuse them of lying, or you discourage them from speaking out, and be like, just get over it. It's not something to get over. And I will never fully understand what people who have been raped are actually going through, because it's a lifetime thing. There's something that will always be at the back of their head, thoughts that probably just randomly come up or affect your mood or your productivity or anything at all, and you're out there making jokes about it and saying just get over it. Like, why is there more pressure on the victim side than on the attacker side? Like, that's what I don't understand. And why are you out there defending someone who may be a rapist? Sorry, my camera died, so I'm just going to finish up the video on this phone. But as I was saying, if no one taught you how to respect people, and no one taught you self-control and how to respect people, teach yourself. Like, we live in this era, Google is your friend. Teach yourself those kind of things, like, because you may or may not be ruining someone's whole life, and you don't want to take that kind of risk. And just for the fact that you were created by God, just from the good of your heart, make sure you learn more. Like, you learn more about this whole sexual assault, harassment, consent, and all that. Just learn more about it, because ignorance is okay, but then once you start acting on ignorance, you put yourself in danger, you put yourself in trouble. So learn more about it, and I think I'm just going to put some links in my description section below about definitions of consent, assault, harassment, what is consent, what consent is not like, and all those cases. These are my social media handles, so you guys could follow me. I'll also be posting links to petitions where you could sign supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, because if you don't have money, there are ways you could actually support. What I'm doing now is putting the hashtag Black Lives Matter in this YouTube video, and also like tweeting petitions and signing petitions myself. If you do have money, you can donate, but then it's really not that important. Like, the other things you could do about it, because people will laugh at you for supporting the Black Lives Movement when you're from Nigeria that has its own problems, but you have to remember that those people out there are our relatives. Like, there are a lot of them who, like, our blood relatives. And also, the African Americans were Africans before they were anything else. And also, we're also supporting other countries that experience racism, and you just have to put it out there. I mean, if you care about what people say, you're really never going to move forward. And I don't care if people are laughing at Nigerians for supporting the movement. If I'm not someone who's just going to keep quiet, or I don't have my priorities, but I know what's important right now. And I consider people out there as our fellow Africans. So you could do as much as signing petitions, retweeting petitions, posting it on your WhatsApp status and all that. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.